One thing I wish someone would have told me about investing is the fact that it could ruin your day at any moment. Welcome back to the channel. Tune in or go stout. And that is right. Today is my birthday. When you see this will be yesterday. Thank you to everybody that said happy birthday on the post. I really appreciate it. And it was a good day, but the one thing stopping it from being a great day was the price action of Bitcoin. I woke up in the morning and it has literally been a red line down all day. And we never really recovered from Friday. The price of Bitcoin, I think for a couple moments, dropped under 107 for a little bit, but at the moment of recording, it's holding steady at 108, which is actually a very critical point. Whether it gains or breaks support, could see if it drops under 100K or bounces back up to maybe past 110. Regardless, the amount of volatility in the market right now is unsettling to everybody, and it's showing across the board. If you happen to catch my video last week that I did about gold, then you might have saw what's happening now coming. In just a week since I made that video, gold is at $4,300 and has surpassed a market cap of $30 trillion. To put into context how crazy of price action this is, gold gained the market cap of Bitcoin 2.1 trillion in a week's time. Why do these things matter? I know people see Bitcoin as digital gold, so why is it seeing a hit right now? One of the things I tried to emphasize on Friday's market crash was the fact that if you go off the macro and what things are supposed to do and how things did work in the past, then you're not being honest to yourself about the climate that we're in. I'm not going to try to get too political in this, but one of the scariest things that happened on Friday wasn't that the market crashed. It was the fact that one Truth Social post made the market crash that hard. The constant use of the word tariff and using them as a weapon is a double-edged sword. Regardless on how you feel about them, whether they're helping the country or hurting the country, the administration is using it as a negotiating tool, but it cuts both ways. While the tweeting of major government plans is nothing new to us, the market manipulation that followed right after is the blatant $1.1 billion short on Bitcoin right before the announcement was made, the false attempt to create a weak rally on the Monday by saying that the trade tensions were eased, just to have China come out hours later and say, no, we're still mad, shows that people can't just trust the Fibonacci and the things that the charts tell them, because the market is just waiting to get a tweet that will wipe out people's entire life savings. This is the exact thing that happened to a crypto investor in Ukraine. He was so overly leveraged on his positions that once the 15% dip in Bitcoin happened last Friday, he saw himself from riding around in a Lamborghini to just seconds later being $60 million in debt. Seeing how much he lost made him unalive himself, and that's just the investor that was famous enough to get a story written about him. There was probably countless smaller retail investors that couldn't handle seeing losses that big. And I know when you invest, you do it at your own risk. You don't know what's going to happen next, and no one guarantees you an outcome. But the things going on now are not by coincidence. We saw what the art of the deal did in April. We saw what it's doing now. If we continue to do this, then you have to literally have post notifications on for the president just to get through a day of investing. With all this uncertainty and the economy sitting on someone's emotions for the day, people are doing an obvious switch and converting over to gold. We've been talking about gold on this channel for about a month. I remember one of the first videos where I talked about it, somebody said it's at all-time highs, it's too late to buy in, you probably shouldn't do it now. And honestly, I kind of agreed when they said that. I was still putting a little bit in just because I think it's a very good safety net. But as far as putting a bunch in at one time, I was not really for it. So I saw where he was coming from. But to tell me at the time that I read this comment that it would be at almost $4,400, it's probably going to hit $4,400 by the time this video's out. Bro, I would have bet the entire bank on it. I knew it was a good call, but this is crazy. And I have no one else to thank for it but the president. But when gold does this good, there's nothing really good about it, if that makes sense. People have no confidence in the system, and the system only works with people having confidence in it. With all this media censorship going around, getting, they're trying to get people to sign stuff to not talk bad and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if they just start suppressing videos like this, because when things start looking better, I'll tell you they start looking better. But this is not a fake positivity channel. This is a look at what's really going on. When young people out of college can find jobs, I'll let you know that. When the house prices drop, I'll let you know that. And when the hiring rates go up, I'll let you know that. But every time we get bad news and I'm met with people are just lazy and they don't want to work in the comments, I'm gonna keep releasing the videos that are true to what's actually happening. Now let's go into my thoughts on Bitcoin, because you can't trust what's happening anywhere. But the good thing about Bitcoin, and I think XRP and Ethereum, they are not altcoins. I will probably never tell you to go buy an altcoin on this channel, not because I don't invest in them myself, but but more so, I saw what happened the last bull run where people were telling you to buy Doge this, Shiba Inu, that all these different names that you had to swap and chain over to this. And that's exactly the same sector of investment that has all these celebrity pump and dump trash coins. So if you want to go play in that mess, you can. A lot of money to be made, hyper ups, hyper downs, but that will never be the risk level that I'm willing to tolerate. So when we talk crypto, I want it to be around things that have solid backing in my eyes. No Mario coins, no Sonic rings. Like, we're going to focus on the Bitcoins and stuff. And I think Bitcoin is seeing a lot of price dipping right now. And I know I talk bad about buying the dip, but this is I think you buy the dip. While the price hovering at 108 is bearish, I think when you buy the dip of Bitcoin, you need to kind of give it a little bit of time. On Friday, I said that this definitely wasn't the dip and the week was going to be pretty bad. And it started off good on Monday and then it got worse literally every other day past that. So with these dips, you kind of got to give it a little bit of time. You don't want to buy in at all-time highs, but at the same time, you don't want to wait forever and let the price bounce up to the sky. Right now, it's hovering around 108. I'm going to go to sleep and see if it's at 107. If it's around 107, then I'm going to wait because that signals more volatility to come. But if I wake up and it's at 110, even if there is volatility to come, I feel more relaxed in my choice at that time. Trying to put money into things as they're going up or going down is how you get burnt the most. So just take a step back. This is not a short-term play for me. This is long-term. I see Bitcoin's value exploding by 2030. Hey, come on, like just think about it. With how the cycles go, you kind of got to have some. XRP, I like XRP. I like it. People say that it might hit $10 at the end of the decade. It might hit $10 in a year. Either way, I see it hitting $10. So if I know it's going to be good then I might as well invest in it now while I have a decent buying opportunity. And Ethereum is the foundation of what a lot of altcoins and everything else is built off of. And if you want to know what cryptos to invest in or how to spot good ones or bad ones, just think of the utility. Bitcoin is seen as digital gold and a way to connect the entire world onto a payment system that isn't so delayed like our current one. But what is the end goal or plan of a Naruto coin? That's why it's so easy to just make all these documents and label it and put it out to buy. There's no reason to get it, in my opinion. If you can tell me why it's worth it, I'd love to hear it, but I don't really see a value in these coins. It just seems like they flood the market, they pump up because you can manipulate it, and then you just pull out, which is basically what we're seeing. I think we're seeing the altcoinification of trading in general because we have the president who did it to his own coin, Trump coin. But I know we got a little sidetracked, but yes, get Bitcoin, but get it when you're ready. Don't have buyer's remorse. It could go up, it could go down. The only good thing about Bitcoin is if it goes down, then there's literally a cycle of when it's going to go up again. So this is why I say make sure this is an investment that you're proud of because there's money to be made there for sure. It's just how long are you willing to wait? If you want quick money, maybe Bitcoin is not the quickest way for you to make that money. But again, these are all takes coming from somebody who doesn't plan on cashing out anytime soon. Even though I am unemployed, I am in a pretty decent place with my finances right now, and I want to make long plays. I know this is a video mainly focused on crypto and gold, but my reasoning for making long plays now is just the volatility in the system. With just some of the news that we have circulating right now and what's to come in 2027, I don't see a lot of great economic things happening. That's not saying that they can't happen, but with the AI bubble looking more like a bubble with the circle payment system that it has going on, and just how much it really has not delivered. That's also another time to discuss, but everybody giving it so much praise on content creation and automation and all this different stuff, it's just not living up to the hype that it is. Yes, ChatGPT is cool, Sora is interesting, but this is not the leaps that we were, shown in the movies. And the infrastructure needed to get to that is like $7 trillion. There's already the funding issue where Nvidia is funding OpenAI with money, and OpenAI is taking that and funding out all the server companies with money. But who's actually making money? In the short term, my outlook is bearish. We might have a good holiday season, but even with all this stuff going on, the holiday season could be better if we find a way to lower all the uncertainty going into the holidays. Currently, we are at extreme fear according to the index. And if you know about this, usually extreme fear means buy and extreme greed means sell. I think this is a good time to buy Bitcoin, honestly. But when is the peak state of extreme fear? That's something that you have to figure out the hard way. And that's where all your, data science and opinions come into play. If I wake up and the trends that I want to see are showing, then I'll make a purchase. But if they're signaling that there's more problems ahead, or let's say China or Trump tweets something overnight or in the morning, then I'll back off. It really sucks that Friday had to happen in general. Before he put that tweet out, there were signals that the S&P was going to close lower or that Bitcoin was having a little bit of a bearish trend, but it was nothing that didn't happen typically. And if that tweet didn't happen, I think we may be seeing highs of 130. Even when it tested all-time highs at 126, it dipped and had a nice little bounce back until that tweet, which just plummeted. So if you're one of the people coping and saying that market manipulation is good and it just got all the leverage buyers out, it just sounds like the same cope last all season when everything was inflated. But you know, they told you no, the alt season hasn't even started yet, even though we saw coins 100x, and they left all the regular consumers holding the bags. If you want to be left holding the bag, then you're going to keep making excuses for patterns that don't make sense. If you want to enter the market and hold on to any value, then you'll try your best to invest off principle and not just gambling instincts. But I don't know, that's just my thought process. And what do I know? I'm just an unemployed guy playing Call of Duty. If you agree or disagree, let me know down below. I do read the comments. Let me know if you think it's going to get more spooky as we head into October, and if November is looking any better. Like and subscribe to join the thread. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Transmission complete. Signal terminating. This is Ghost Thread, signing off.